The A's have finally decided to spend money, and I just don't know how to fucking feel about it. I'll be honest. They perplex me. Not they. The owner. The owner, John Fisher, perplexes me. I feel like at this point I've made so many episodes discussing the Oakland A's, who are no longer the Oakland A's. They're just going to be the A's, one letter away from ass. I feel like I made that joke before. It wasn't any funnier the second time. But for the next 3 years, they're just going to be known as the Athletics. They're playing in Sacramento at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, California, where they will share a stadium with the AAA team for the San Francisco Giants, which I think I said in the past that the A's are going to be sharing it with their AAA team. I forgot. Ironically, I think their AAA team is in Las Vegas. And so they're sharing this stadium with the San Francisco Giants. They're old neighbors. They're sharing their old neighbors, the Giants, just across the way there. And they're invading their AAA ballpark for the next 3 years after departing Oakland. A history that dates back to 1968. You do the math on that. I won't. This is not a fucking math show. So they waited until they abandoned Oakland to spend some money here. And I don't know how to feel about it. Like, what's worse? Like the owner just blatantly doing the same thing and waiting until they're actually about to be in Vegas to spend some fucking money and be a baseball team, or what? And what I'm referring to, they've signed two players. They made starting pitcher Luis Severino the richest athletic in franchise history with a 3-year, $67 million deal. That is the richest in franchise history. For context, Juan Soto just signed for fucking $1.5 billion, and Shohei, one of the greatest, if not the greatest player, too early to say it. He's like young 30s. But Shohei's was 500,000, 10 years. So if you want some context, that's what I could pull off the dome. The other player they signed, very worthy of this contract, their star outfielder / DH Brent Rooker was signed to a 5-year, $60 million extension. The first, at least in my lifetime, the first Oakland A. God, I keep saying that. That's ridiculous. The first Athletic. See, that's fucked up. You leave Oakland behind, and it's a weird. It's just a weird situation. I can't just bitch this whole episode, but it's I think making these episodes talking about this will just always be a thing in the future, because it's like, it's not something that I can forget about soon, at least. Hey, sorry about that brief interruption. It's actually over 2 weeks later from that first few minutes that you heard. So welcome back. Same episode, but I'm back. This will be fun to put together, but we're gonna do it. As you saw in the episode preceding this, more than a month ago, we'll get into my lack of consistency later. But we're fighting that never-ending battle. Anyway, I'm already off topic. I'm trying to go fast, but yet I'm already just saying shit. It's funny how that works. So, yeah, I recorded that first bit about 2 weeks ago. Right after recording that, I then went to go do my, what the hell would it have been? My sixth set of stand-up comedy, my sixth open mic. It did not go well at all. And we will keep talking about that A's, I promise. We will. This part's going to be fast and clean from here on out. We will get back to the actual topic, but again, this is going to cut together really weird. So I did my sixth open mic. It was so okay. It was okay. Some things worked, other things didn't. Things that I didn't really think were going to work, worked.
Things that I felt really good about, terrible. So that was the 6th open mic. I then 2 days later did the 7th open mic, and that one was a little worse than the 6th one. And yeah. And then I'm hustling to record this now as I'm about to go do my 8th one. And so I'll let you know how that goes, probably at the end of this episode. So I said I'd talk about all the open mics at least this year. As I'm going through, I set the goal for myself to do 30 this year. I'm good on that so far, but not good on the consistency part with this podcast. So that is a never-ending battle, but the show will always be alive. I'll say that forever. And again, if you're listening, I always do sincerely appreciate it, especially with putting up with all this crazy shit. So anyway, the Oakland A's, goddamn, they are not the Oakland A's. The Athletics, as owned by John Fisher, they decided to spend money again. I know I've already talked about how I don't understand how I don't understand my own feelings about it. Is it what's worse, not spending any money ever, or spending money right when you leave the city that loves you? Oakland, right when you leave Oakland, you sign Luis Severino to the richest athletic contract in history, $67 million. I don't understand it. Brent Rooker, again, I feel like I already said this. I haven't even listened to that first part of this yet. So, again, this is going to cut together hilarious. But Brent Rooker deserved it. He had a great year. It's about time that they, sign one of their core guys to an extension. So Brent Rooker earned that, and hopefully he keeps performing, and hopefully he only gets better. But I think he's 30, 31 now. But 5 years, $60 million. That's fucking great. I also saw. I don't think that I talked about this part yet, but part of the A's actually spending money is apparently they were on the border of getting a grievance filed against them from the Players Association because they do not spend money. Who would have thought that that would be a problem? It was to the level where they had to increase their payroll to $105 million in order to avoid that grievance. So I guess that was what it took. Again, I don't know how to feel about that. The timing is just hilarious. That grievance couldn't have been filed, or at least close to being filed, a year or two earlier, I guess, when they were still in Oakland. So Oakland got minimal roster investment pretty much the entire time that I'm aware of. My entire lifetime, it's just always been a thing, especially the last few years when it seemed determined that they were going to be hauling ass out of Oakland. This will be something that I keep discussing and keep talking about. As long as it feels like it's worth talking about. So, but on the other side, spring training. I want to say I wrote down spring training February 10th. My guess would be that that's when pitchers and catchers report. I don't think that's when the games start, but that's my guess that that's when pitchers and catchers report. You should Google that. I wouldn't trust this podcast. I'll let you know when I got numbers I can stand behind. The other thing about that stadium that the A's are going to be playing in this year, it gets hot. It's in Sacramento. It gets hot as fuck. They have to share it with a AAA team that is not even the Oakland. I can't. We're going to move on. You know how annoyed I am that I keep saying Oakland. It's not even the Athletics AAA team. It's the San Francisco Giants AAA team. The River Cats. And I think I already said that in the first part. But that's going to be the next 3 years. That's Severino's entire contract. At least there's that guaranteed. But when I saw that news, all I saw was that motherfucker sitting out there on the mound, just sweating bullets and struggling. He's a good pitcher. He was pretty good last year. I think he's got a lot left in the tank. But when I saw that he signed that contract for that amount of time, that was immediately what I pictured. As a pitcher, you already sweat a ton. You're already working your ass off. You got to throw the ball every fucking time. You're sweating. So if you're out in 100 degrees, if they're playing day games and their pitchers, oh my God, let them use sticky stuff at that point. They're going to fling the ball at the fucking dugout. So I guess that we'll call this a planned little break. Again, this is gonna cut together just hilarious, but I barely even know what jokes I'm gonna try to tell at this open mic. I got about 20 minutes before I'm planning to leave, so I'm gonna go do that. I'll come back. I don't know how much else I have to talk about this topic. If you're along for the ride, thanks. Appreciate it. Love this show. This show will never die. I will always say that, and so that will always be true. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Jesus Christ, what a rambling fuckfest this episode is. But yeah, I'll let you know if I bomb. It's possible. We'll see.
Hey, hey. It's your old pal Krusty. It has been at least a week between cuts. This episode is gonna be absolutely hilarious or a train wreck. You be the judge. I'm not even sure yet. I gotta just edit this fucking thing tonight. At this point, it's gonna just have to get out, and cause I need to release the episode with Mitch. At this point I've recorded a whole nother episode with another guest. So and I've come back to this one episode and just added little excerpts and haven't edited it. But yeah. So I think I just gotta finish this one. I'll tell you how that open mic went though, before I go to this next one tonight. And yeah, so that one went very well. It went good. It was probably the second best I'd ever done in my life out of the 8 open mics I've done so far. It went really good. I was as comfortable on stage as I ever have been, I think, and that's a big deal. So, open mic number 8 went well. It went well. I'm gonna go to another one tonight. Next episode, I'll talk about the upcoming stuff too, and it was a really good time recording that one. So I seriously, I mean, if you listen to this one all the way through, especially after me not uploading this podcast, especially after not uploading a podcast for over a month, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate that. I'm terrified to try to make any promises now regarding scheduling and when episodes are going to come out. But the one guarantee that I'll always give, this show will never die. If this show dies, it's because I died. So I will give you that. That is the guarantee I can offer. So I'll let you know how all these open mics go too, how all of these times on stage, and yeah, that's another guarantee I guess I can give you. I'm doing stand-up comedy. I'm doing it a lot more. This show, looking back, has been so helpful with me being able to come close to being a successful comedian, dare I say. I don't think that that first show I did in December, I say show, it's an open mic. That first open mic I did in December, that went well, and without me still doing the podcast between like that 10 months of me not being on stage, I know for a fact that was a big help in me having any chance to be halfway decent on stage as a comic. So I had to get that out. I still need to finish writing the shit that I'm gonna say on stage in about an hour, and I gotta eat something.
And what do you think about the A's? What do you think about those Athletics? I really I mean, I don't want them to fail, but I hate the owner. I hate the owner, but the team deserved to stay in Oakland. Oakland deserved to keep the team. And man, I don't know. It's just disheartening to think about. I know in this episode I multiple times I messed up and said Oakland, and I had to catch myself every time. There's plenty of that in this episode. I know that. And yeah, if I want to talk about the A's, and that's a topic I will keep talking about because it's a billionaire owner taking the team away from the city that had it for so long, and wanted to keep it, and wanted the owner to give a shit, and it never happened. And the owner decided to spend some money and give a shit when he was about to be hit with some fines and fucking tariffs, if you will, at this point, if you want to trump it up. Call it a fucking tariff that the Athletics were about to be hit with if they didn't spend any fucking money, so they finally did. Woohoo! Good job, John Fisher. You did it right as you left. Enjoy your next 3 years in Sacramento. I'm gonna do my best to enjoy this open mic tonight. I'll let you know how it goes in the next episode, number 74. And I'll leave you with this, man. Again, thank you very much. If you listen to this absolute shit show of an episode to this point, where I promise it's gonna end in about 10 seconds, thank you again. I hope to be more consistent. This project will never die, and it's been very instrumental to a lot of things in my life. So there you go. That's wholesome as fuck. You have a good night.